answer by selecting a member of the emotion family.
What? I don't know these emotions.
When sometimes I prag, I like to steal Yeah, right. Yeah, right. This guy's a fag.
Let me ask you something. If the rule you followed brought you to this, of what use was the rule?
I named my Hippowdon William Knight, a content creator who made this one video where he gives almost good advice. A wise man once said, "Be happy for no reason like a child. If you're happy for a reason, then you're in trouble because that reason could be taken from you." The sensibility of this message comes when people think, "Oh damn, children are really out here happy over nothing." I don't think that's the case. Instead, in terms of happiness, children have lower emotional needs and desires. In a way, their reason for happiness is their younger mind. Naturally, this has been taken away from all of us who read this. The lifestyle that William likely encourages would involve clinging to happiness through small things, the opposite of my lifestyle, while having a strong sense of inner peace that allows this happiness to be nearly unbroken in aggregate. His advice, much like all advice, is meant to help people reach fulfillment. Fulfillment is the reason we choose to keep living. That isn't to say it's the point of life. Whatever the point of life is must come second after a person's instances of fulfillment, or fulfillments for short. Fulfillments are every major part of our life that reminds us that there is value in living. So this could be everything from a person's partner to enjoying humor. The topic applies to most people's lives, but they often don't realize how. The disconnect between fulfillment and a point to my life is one that I didn't grasp at all in my youth, and I think the reality of it is only setting in now. In my youth, I was into this philosophy called effective altruism. It's a utilitarian philosophy heavily associated with effective charities and preventing extinction scenarios. Maximizing the effect you have on the world. This is what I saw as the point to my life, because I saw how much suffering there was in the world and thought, damn, all of this suffering that other beings feel is so much bigger than the pain I experience from my lack of fulfillment. I never took major steps to achieving that goal because deep down, I realize how twisted that logic is. If I take reducing suffering as the point of my life with no concern for my fulfillment, I would steer my life in the direction of the best possible way to maximize profit with my skill set. For me, that would probably be becoming a lawyer. But I find that unfulfilling and empty as hell. It's no way for me to live. I learned this from participating in a competitive event called Mock Trial in my sophomore year of college in Kansas. The rules of the competition don't matter to this video. The only thing that mattered was that the activity was a simulation of court trials, and the trials were around 3 hours, but I was actively involved for about 20 minutes in each. The remainder of the time was spent focusing on how much I do not fuck with lawyering at all. I cannot find any motivation to read case law. When I tried to read it for a mock trial, it felt like my eyes were glazing over each line like a high school reading assignment. But maybe it's more hype in the real world, I don't know. Instead, that time I spent idly on the plaintiff's side attorney's table drifted idly towards thoughts about the purpose of my life, and it was one of the most empty experiences I've had for an extended period of time across my entire life. Would not recommend it to anyone who can get lost in their thoughts like I do. If my thoughts seem scattered now, they would be far worse while in mock trial where I lacked all of my sensory pleasures, music, bed, pajamas, and my legal pen. Anyways, that's merely a demonstration of how difficult it is for someone to fully dedicate themselves towards purpose with no concern for fulfillment. What William should truly be saying is that people should examine what their sources of fulfillment are. This will both allow unfleeting happiness and a dedicated life towards whatever your purpose may be. Can your fulfillment be taken away? Codependency or marriage? Is your fulfillment consistently unreliable? An addiction? Is your fulfillment fragile? Unrealistic expectations or body image? All these lawyer-level pointed questions struck me the morning, aka 2 p.m. after my 21st birthday, which was more importantly the day I accidentally hurt a friend. So I brought the concerns to an online friend of mine. He quickly responded because he could tell how upset I was. He told me that there are no prescriptive purposes of fulfillment of which he could bestow me. Instead, These points of fulfillment are vast and scattered throughout my life as the things I value. My friends, harm reduction, hurting people, writing, my plushies, my Lomomola plushie, Lomomola in general. Intuitively, I'm sure I knew this. If someone or 17-year-old me asked, how'd you make it to 21? I could give them a literal answer of what it is in life that keeps me going, but it would be accompanied with a certain pessimism. In addition to my direct answer, I would tell my question asker about all the people and events which could take away my fulfillment, like hurting people so long as I care about them. Each time I've told myself that life isn't worth living is a time where I am the world's greatest advocate towards these negative parts of my life. I play up their negativity with the persuasion of the Baptist pastor to the townsfolk in the pews who witness his message. Marriage is really cool. Be careful when you analyze why you're alive. When I was 8, I listened to hip-hop for the first time and called my grandfather a sucker MC and he smashed my Xbox.